Well, good morning internets. Here we go. We have ourselves a start to another day. Supposed to be another beautiful, really hot day out, followed by a day of showers. And yeah, welcome to our vlog. So, here we go. Well, you know, I've always tried to keep my personal life off of YouTube. As in, I don't really videotape my family, nor do I show when I was working my place of employment or personal details, kind of like that. I've always tried to keep my personal life separate from my YouTube life. Way back in the day, I actually thought about splitting things off to the point where my Maxwell's World channel was totally separate from the vlogging channel. However, with the internet the way it is, when you start searching them, they were actually coming up in the search results together. So right there, you know, keeping the two channels separate, personal life and Maxwell's World, were impossible. So I kind of just embraced that corner of things a little bit. However, there still is many and a lot of personal details that I've not shared on YouTube. Mainly because, well, just that. They are personal details that nobody else really needs to know. And what I do share with you guys is filtered a little bit. I don't really, you know, like to censor my work or filter my work, but at the same time, you know, there are people out there that are very lonely, very miserable people that like to look for ammunition or look for something they can use to poke the fire or try to start a fire, and if you give it to them, well, they will definitely use it. So I do what I can to keep things generic or YouTube only, and try to keep my personal life off it. However, that being said, there comes a time when your current personal life starts to affect your YouTube work, i.e. Not making videos for like the last, whatever it's been, 4.5, 5 months. And not, you know, filming the normal things that I normally do in the past or have done in the past, due to a lot of stuff going on in my personal life that is affecting every aspect of my life, including my YouTube life. I have no idea, again, where things are going to stop or when they're going to slow down or what's going to happen, but when they do, it'll be interesting, it'll be a new start, it'll be a fresh start, and we'll go from there. That being said, I've come to the realization that I need to list my house for sale. I can no longer afford to make the mortgage payments, I can no longer afford to do upkeep on the house. And as of right now, with my health the way it is, and situations like that going on, I can no longer maintain the grass, maintain the trimming, maintain the yard, or obviously work to pay all the above. I had a little bit of savings tucked away for, well, some stuff that I wanted to do. However, that savings has dwindled to the end, and it has coming to, well, the end very soon. Well, over the last month, I've been in contact with 5 realtors in total. The first one came, stood in my entranceway, and told me that he doesn't think he can sell the house. The second one I called came, and she looked around the house and then said that they were going to do some checking in the area of prices and get back to me. Never did. The third one was a guy who was very blunt, very to the point, and very he was a realist, and he told me a lot of things that really stirred up my emotions and got me thinking, got me worked up, which caused other issues for a week or two. And the more I think about it, the more he was right. You know, the market is tough. I'm not going to be able to sell this house for what I owe on it. And that's where the trouble's going to come in, because the bank's not going to, you know, write off $30,000 in debt because, well, you didn't get that extra for the house. Well, the fourth person came and looked at the house, and, well, it wasn't the house for them to sell. Well, the fifth person was a lady that contacted me on Facebook when I put a post looking for a good, responsible realtor. She came and she liked the house. I have no idea what her background is, where she come from, or who she really is. But she might have lived in an older home at one time, and she was very enthusiastic about listing the house for sale, and she gave me some tips on things to fix or things to pretty up, you know, that were really inexpensively to do. So I got those done, and the house is now listed for sale. However, it's been on the market now for, what's it been, almost 3 weeks? And there's been no inquiries at all because, again, the housing market in this town is brutal, and I don't entirely know exactly what to do. When the sharks start smelling blood in the water, they start to circle, and then things fall apart fast. You know, do I walk into the bank and hand them the keys and say, you know, sorry, you know, thanks for the last 12 years, but that's it? Do I rent this house out and go live in an apartment somewhere and find somebody that'll pay $1,400 or $1,600 a month for it, enough to cover the mortgage and the insurances, and that's it, until such time as the economy picks up and I can sell it in a year or two? You know, obviously if you walk in and you give the bank the keys, there's going to be other consequences that you don't want to go down, but at the same time, you know, what do, right? You start skipping payments and the bank's going to get angry. Or not being able to make payments, I guess. It's not skipping payments, just not going to be able to make payments. And then once they're angry, then the damage is already done and you're basically SOL. But I've made the choice to let go of my dreams, my hope, my future, and everything I worked for the last 20 years, and sell my house. With that's going to come, of course, the hard decision on my tools and bicycles, lawnmower, lawn equipment, my whole life. Everything I've invested into has to go. Because if I do move to an apartment, there's no room to store any of this. If I end up living in my trailer, there's going to be definitely no room to store nothing. So it all kind of has to go. But it is what it is, and around we go. I'm gonna go in, make myself some coffee, I think. It's a coffee morning. And get on with our beautiful warm day. Well, hello internets. Here we are. Have ourselves a little bit of a later evening update. I know I'm not doing this update when it's dark, but at the same time, I am feeling a little bit rough, so I'll probably end up crashing before the night's over, and I thought I would do it now, just in case I forget to do it later. You know, in your life you start having issues going on, and those issues start to compound, and you start having extra stresses caused by those issues, and majority of those issues are caused by other people. You know, you try your best to overcome them and work around them, but there's only so much you can do when other people hold your fate in their hands. They decide where your future goes. They decide if you get the help or not, or they decide if you're worthy enough of, you know, their help, even though you need it, or you've paid into it all these years and all you're asking is for a little bit of help and you can't get it, or they don't want to give it to you, or they're dragging their heels, or whatever it is. And you know, it's not like I'm asking for a payout of thousands of dollars. I'm just asking for some help. You know, if they don't want to pay my mortgage, I understand. Because, you know, whatever. But at the same time, at least be honest with the person and say, listen, you know, you do qualify. However, we can't pay your mortgage. Here's money for groceries or bills or medications and stuff and that. But we can't allow you to use it for your mortgage, which then, of course, you know, let the house go, move to an apartment, and, well, it is what it is. But when they drag their heels and deny and paperwork and appeals and calls and appointments, and it never goes anywhere, or at least it seems that it never goes anywhere, and, you know, disconnect notices, and they won't pay or won't help, and because they claim you have assets, well, you start selling those large assets, calling their bluff, then what's going to happen, right? Once my house is gone and my truck is gone, they're going to have no more excuses that they can use without to verify or to justify not helping me. So then what's going to happen, right? You know, their lie is going to come forth. They don't want to help me anyway. Then why did they make me sell my house and my truck? Well, just come forth and say we don't want to help you, and then I would have went the other way months ago, and then the stress would have been far less. You know, in life, it's hard to look at life as in one big piece, so you kind of got to break it up into chapters. You know, you had your childhood years, let's just say, you know, between birth and 12 or so. Then you had your teenage years, which is what, 13 to what, 19? You know, then you had your young adult years, if you want to say between 20 and, what is it, 20 and 35 or so, maybe. And then once you turn 40, that's quite a wake-up call for a person, you know. And in life, we have chapters, and kind of those chapters of those different years, and for each person, their chapter timeline is different. But for me, I was never a kid. I was never really a teenager. Because of my dad being sick, I was not forced, but forced to grow up in an adult environment. And I was, what, 10, 11, 12, riding my bicycle in the rain to go get an alternator for a car, or the starter for a car, or changing flat tires, or belts for my mum, because Dad was too sick to do it. And I never really had house parties or friends or sleepovers and stuff, because that was not there. You know, and as one chapter closes, you know, another one opens. It might be hard to see, but everything happens for a reason. I find that the more you stress about it and the more you force things to happen, the worse it gets, or the wrong decisions happen, and then you end up having to backtrack to get back on track where you need to be. Like I've said in other vlogs about buying the 2016 GMC Canyon. You know, if I would have bought a 2016 full-size CRR Silverado, I would have been further ahead back then, or even have bought a CRR Silverado in 2015, or even 2009 for all that mattered. But again, hindsight's always 20/20. But as one chapter closes, another one opens, and you just got to be prepared to go through it, and you get prepared for the next one, and whatever the repercussions are from closing the previous chapter, it is what it is. And I've got a legitimate reason for this last chapter closing as hard as it's going to close, and we'll just have to deal with what's going to happen as it comes, and deal with what happens, because it's going to be what it is. But pretty much, guys, gonna end her all here. Today was a good day. Got some stuff done, got some things going and a-rolling. Still haven't heard back from the powers that be's, but I guess it is what it is, and around we roll. Remember, we do have a post office box for all your fan mail needs. You want to send me something, feel free to send it there. If you do send me something, please message me on social media so I know it's on its way. If you have a tracking number, please include the tracking number so I can track where it goes. If you write me a letter, I will write you back. If you send me a decal, once again, I will send you one back. Check out our social media pages and all that good stuff. But thanks for joining me on this here vlog. And as always, thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.